Welcome back to Point Blank. An additional 150 Singapore dollars million will be used to help train PMETs under the Skills Program for Upgrading and Resilience.
Or SPUR. Okay, but are these state-sponsored training programs really aimed at upskilling workers and preparing them for the eventual upturn, or
are they merely another means for companies to cut costs? Because the fact remains that SPUR plays for part of a worker's salary if the worker undergoes training.
That's right.
And as he or she undergoes training under SPUR, the worker will also be entitled to a monthly allowance not exceeding $1,000 from the government to help pay for his or her expenditure.
That's right. So together with a 90% course fee subsidy, it naturally makes professional conversion an attractive option. But there's the question of how essential and effective taking up these courses are in enhancing the current and even future prospects of these employees.
And if you think participating in SPUR will guarantee you your rice bowl, you might want to think again. Why? Because Razor TV spoke to a group of worried executives from the manufacturing sector who are already predicting their own dismissal from their current company. And this is despite after all the much talked about SPUR program. Let's find out why SPUR is not enough to put their minds at ease.
Maybe you guys can start off by telling me a little bit more about your working experience at your company and how it's currently doing.
I think so far I've been working in manufacturing for about over 3 years. So far everything has been quite cool, except that recently is more of a global drastic drop in demand. So basically the demand for our company products also dropped by quite a drastic percentage. So generally quite affected due to this, although several measures are taken.
A little bit more about what are some of the measures that your company has taken.
So far, actually, there's a lot of steps before we do retrenchment for the company. The first one is to reduce the allowance, as in not the basic salary. That means the OTs. And also, currently, we are taking unpaid leave. But so far, there's no official announcement yet what is the future plans of the company. So these are the 2 steps they have taken. Yeah.
You say unpaid leave, right? Are these leave like voluntary or forced leave that you have to apply for as stipulated by your company?
Oh, it's actually forced leave. So they will, for those who have annual leave, they will try to utilize their annual leave. And for people like me because I just joined, I don't have much annual leave, so I'm forced to take unpaid leave. Yeah.
How many days of forced leave are you required to take?
4 per month.
Are you aware of this program called SPUR?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we do know.
Is your company, one of those companies who have signed up for SPUR and, using SPUR to retrain the employees of your company?
Yeah.
Going for training in February.
Yeah. So the SPUR program will commence in February. So you guys haven't undergone SPUR yet before?
Yeah, not yet.
Okay. What do you know about SPUR?
It's a program that the government encouraged the employers to send their employees there, and they'll be given they'll be compensated in some ways if they send their employees there.
Okay. Do you know what are some of the compensation that you will receive so far?
Monetary compensation.
Monetary.
Yeah.
Okay. But do you think SPUR is SPUR going to be for everybody in your company?
Most, right?
Only for PRs and Singaporeans, but I think not all now. As in not all levels.
Not all levels.
Yeah.
Okay. But do you think it's going to be helpful in ensuring or guaranteeing your job right now at your current company?
I think in certain aspects, yes, because it provides more like savings for the company. And also, I think those who undergo the SPURs, I think they're ensured that they will not be retrenched. That's what we know now.
It may be not so, because after all, we know how the company is doing, in a sense that from the demand that we get from our customers' performance, we roughly will know how much production that the company will get in the maybe next 1 to 2 months. So in a sense that even though there is SPUR program to keep that amount of headcount in that company, with that drastic drop in demand may not be very feasible for the company also. So in a way, it will tell us that maybe in February it won't happen. But in March, where we also we are also expecting very low production, we can't be sure that we won't be retrenched.
Because the subsidized is only for workers, but how about like other resources that we actually need to use for the company? There is another matter. So this actually depends on our customers' demand also greatly, I think.
Okay. So you think SPUR is more of a cost-cutting measure rather than, a program to really help you to upgrade your skills?
Correct. For manufacturing sector, yes, it is.
But everybody knows that, even despite having SPUR on board, there's that possibility that people may still be retrenched even though they've gone for SPUR as well. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit more about this SPUR program that you guys would be undergoing in February? More details.
Oh, it's actually a supervisory course. I'm not very sure.
Actually, I think it's more on like personal enhancement, something like leadership or interactive skills. I think.
Interactive skills.
Yeah.
Personal effectiveness.
Something like that. But the details I cannot really.
It's more of generic. It's more of generic courses where no special skills is in the content of the course, but it's mainly they wish to have something like the benefit of the SPUR at the same time, because for us they consider us as excess manpower because the demand has dropped to such an extent that it's very excess. So in a sense it's more to like trying to reduce costs.
Just now I spoke to this taxi driver and he was saying that, going for SPUR is not exactly an upgrading program. It's more like a downgrading thing because you're just... employers expect you to go and acquire totally new skills altogether. It's like you're not making full use of all the qualifications that you have earned throughout the years when you were in school. What do you guys have to say to that?
Since we haven't undergone the course yet, so we do not know how useful the course is for us.
But do you think the course that you're going to go through is going to enhance your job prospects in future in any way at all?
I never think that way actually.
I think it was something like the employees actually, we all know that it's not something as an upgrading thing. So probably our attitude towards it wasn't that we are going there for upgrading course kind of attitude. So I mean they have said it verbally this kind of situation, and probably I think courses which can cater to degree holders and above to be added will be quite beneficial also, because now affected ones are mainly in manufacturing sector. We have a wide variety of lower educated ones and degree and above degree holders also.
I feel that the management, to put it bluntly, they just want us to go through this training because of the rebates. Yeah. So to them it's not more of a upgrading skills kind of things. It's more of a cost cutting.
Because we are in the manufacturing industry, so there are different courses for different industry. So because of that limitation, we are unable to cross over to other courses. So in a sense that for our educational level, for our manufacturing sector, we are only limited to that very few courses. So in a sense that because there are actually other courses which I saw, which are actually pretty interesting. Some on finance, some on hospitality, and some I think there is on like occupational therapies also, a varied course. But for our manufacturing sector, there's only specific ones, and most of them are actually very technical and hands-on. Where for degree holders, the choices are left with the very limited of the soft skills courses.
Supposing you do lose your job in February, what are you going to do? What's the next step that you're going to take?
Of course, to find a new job. But I think current situation is quite bad. So I think it will take a longer time to find another job.
But you've been working in this line for the same company for 4 years already, right?
Yes, correct. But I think in this industry, I think all the companies are not doing well. So if I find another job, there will be another industry.
So are you prepared to venture into a different sector altogether, something that is non-manufacturing?
Yeah, of course, since I'm still young, so I think there's a lot of things that I can still explore.
What are some of the sectors that you're willing to explore?
For me, I'll be willing to explore hospitality and maybe hospital operations. But then in current situation, most of the time that the recruiters are recruiting are actually in I think hospital line, where most of I think they need a lot of nurses, a lot of therapies especially. But for that, we don't have the expertise in that area, and for us to go for that kind of training, I don't think we will be heavily subsidized because of our educational background.
Are you going for any form of courses or training programs, or looking at pursuing a second degree maybe?
Not exactly, because probably haven't really built up a good financial stability state that I can go for a second degree or any other courses.
Because pursuing a second degree would require additional cost all over again, right?
For me, I have no intention to study right now because I think I have enough of studies. Yeah. So what I can do is to find a job.
Yeah, same. I just graduated, so the main thing is to earn money first. Yeah.
All right, Heng Fai, are you worried after watching that?
Yeah, probably a little. I think right now, like the other guests have actually spoke about, is really having the experience that you need. And then, like, basically you really want to go out there and find a job and earn the real experience. And then you can actually market it as something that you know and become more appealing in that sense to your future employers or even your current employer.
Right, because the jack of all trades is a master on none,
Exactly.
right?
So
okay.
you want to be really good at something that just one thing. Right?
You're mentioning also that, like, if you were an SME, that that you have to be doing a lot of other skills, like retraining for a lot of different things. Because, I mean, basically, for a small medium enterprise, you need to be able to do a lot of things, right?
Well, more precisely, I would think that the company hires you for a specific purpose. So you need to be really good at that particular purpose. But at the same time, because they're a small medium enterprise, you're a small company. So at the same time, you must be able to have the kind of the flexibility to actually be able to do a multitude of tasks, not just the one that you're hired to do, but also things that might need to be done. So as a small medium enterprise SME, the company can actually progress much better if you have people that are more flexible and as well as being good at what they are hired to do.
Okay. Ladies, your thoughts?
I think you're absolutely right. The thing is, when I recruit for my team, or I see who are the sort of people that one wants to have in one's team at one point, I'd say I call it my sort of 3 Ps for the recession. You need people who are positive. Because the last thing you want is people who talk about negative things and take the whole team down with them.
Right.
Yeah.
You need people who are proactive. So what you were talking about, flexibility. Suggest improvements, suggest ways to control costs, take on an additional workload if somebody's staying late and you need to help them out. And thirdly, be productive. And as you said, you focused yourself in one thing, that's where you will be productive soonest.
Right.
So if you're doing these 3 things, you will retain your job, and if you can, show that in an interview, you'll probably get a job. And a lot of us are still worrying about, look at the discussion, many times is, am I going to be out of my job? Well, there's no point. We can talk about it for another 6 months, but do something about it, on a day-to-day basis. The people who have these chats in the pantry are the first people creating an atmosphere of negativity. And hence, will probably...
But I think those people who have those negative chats in the pantry sometimes can't help it. They are rumor mongering, shall we say, and they're getting things through the grapevine. But then, if the company was open enough and was actually transparent enough and communicating everything down to the lowest level employee, there wouldn't be any of these grapevine chats sprouting out all over the place. This is when a lot of these rumor mongers will start, hey, I heard so-and-so is going to be fired, or so-and-so came late, and yada yada. It will happen everywhere.
Sorry, I interrupted you. I was just saying that we had a roundtable with banking clients recently on this subject, and they said the biggest problem right now is communication. Because many times they themselves, as well as their employees, find out things on CNBC or whatever other news channel, before they can disseminate that information. But you're absolutely right. I think if organizations are, transparent with their employees, whether it's good news or bad news, employees will handle it better and will prepare themselves. So the worst thing that can happen right now is for an employee to say, "Oh, I thought I was doing well, and I didn't know there was an issue, or I thought our company was doing well." So it is important to share that.
Okay, we're going to go for a short little communication, rumor mongering among ourselves. When we come back, some very nice videos for you guys.